everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm very happy to show you all of my pages for the past 3 months. In front of me I have 3 different piles for each month and I'm so happy to show you all of my line art pages. The thing is that I cannot remember what I did for my color by number pages, so if you want a specific video just tell me in the comments and I will show you all of my color by number pages and all of my color by number books. But for now I'm gonna start with the month of June and I've colored a lot of pages. And I have to tell you something very important is that I have finished 2 books and I have nearly started all of my coloring book collection. I only have 1 book left in my coloring book collection that it's not started, so I think I'm gonna make a page for next month, for the month of September. And currently I have 100 books and I've started 99 books. I am so happy. So I'm gonna start with the month of June, and in June I have colored in my family block from Hatchet Heroes. So here is Lady Tremaine and her daughters. And I have colored this page with my luminous pencils for the characters, with my watercolor for both backgrounds here, and here it is my new colors too. I've also used my gel pens for some details and the Lumocolor pencils, and I'm so happy I tried to make some details in the hair, for the brows, for the lips. Their makeup are done. And I was so happy to make this page. I like to do sometimes some Disney pages, so yeah, you will see I've did some Disney pages for the past 3 months. I also have to tell you that now I'm currently started my 7th year of coloring. For the dress, you can see I added more details as I was coloring them, but I'm still happy of the result and it was a pleasure to go back in this book. Next, I've colored in my Fedorables minis from Selina Fenech. I've colored this page with my Chroma Flow pencils. I only have the 24 set and I really like these pencils. And for the background it is soft pastel here, and for the moon it is a really cheap affordable watercolor. It is a watercolor palette that comes from the shop Action and I really like the effect. And as always I add some gel pens and some fine liner for some more details, and that's it. Then I've colored in my Mystic Misfits book by White Stag and this book is finished. I'm so happy. For the month of June I've colored this page. So as the first layer I always use alcohol markers and then I make some shadow with my Chroma Flow pencils. For the swirls in the background I've used my Milky Pentel brush. The Milky brush Pentel, something like that. It's like a marker with some acrylic inside and it's a brush nib. And they have like 6 or maybe 8 colors and all are pastel colors. I will put the link in the description box if you want. I've added some gel pens, some jelly roll, and that's it for this page. Next I've made a coloring page in my Fantasy Designs coloring book by Aaron Pocock. And I've colored this dwarf with my Inktense and Graphitint pencils. All of this is like watercolor pencils, and for the background it was my oil pastels. I've added some Morandi pens here to add some blood and some acrylic markers to make some gold details, and that's it for this page. Then I've colored in my Mystical Lens Chronicles book 2 in the Christmas Crystals and the Chrysalis by Karen Myers, and I've colored a little page. I've colored this page with my Winsor and Newton colored pencils. So for the gnome it's all pencils, and here for the background it is my Gelatos and some super golden markers to make the border. So it's really shiny, and I'm sorry but I do not recommend you the super golden markers because they don't work a lot, they don't last. And that's it for this one. For the month of June, this page was the most difficult page I've made. So in my Kanoko Egusa Rhapsody in the Forest book, I've colored this page with my Lightfast pencils, some artists from Derwent also pencils. For the background, here for the grass it is my watercolor. For the clouds I've used some gouache and some oil pastels, and for the sky it's my Neocolors too. I've added some Lumocolor pencils for the details, some gel pens and some Morandi pens. I'm gonna show you closer this page. It was very difficult, and actually I've started this page last year. I've started this page with some flowers and I stopped there, and it was very difficult to continue this page. So I did it for the month of June, and I'm so happy because yeah, I like the result. But always with Kanoko Egusa pages, it's very difficult. You have to take your time, but sometimes I like to challenge myself. So that's it for this page, and I'm really happy I finally finished this page. Yep. And the last but not the least, I have finished my Spooky Girl book, and I did the last page. So I did this page with my alcohol markers, and then I've made some shadows with my watercolor. I've used some very cheap material inside. I've used some really cheap acrylic markers in this page, some glitter markers, some metallic markers, and that's it for this one. So all of this book is finished. Then for the month of July, I have started to color in this book. So I don't really know the title of the book, so I have put the two titles I found on the internet. So here are the title. And in this book, I wanted to color a page only with pastel colors. I've colored this page with my Holbein pencils, also with some Brutfuner pencils. The background was done with soft pastels, and I've added a little bit of gel pens on the butterflies and on the flowers. On the flowers I've used my Pentel hybrid. It's so shiny. I really like the result. And also on the books I have put some gel pens. And that's it for this page. It was really teeny tiny to color, but it was really fun. Then I've colored the last page actually in my Spooky Girl. I've colored the title page only with alcohol markers. And I've also colored another page in this book. It was this one only with alcohol markers and some watercolor, and that's it. I've added some glitters, and this one was the last page of this book, and I'm so happy I finished it. Then I've colored 3 little pages in my coloring book from Mademoiselle. You can translate it maybe by To Each Its Own Cat. And this book is really teeny tiny, but it also exists in a bigger size like this, like a Kabir Rozan book. But I prefer this book in this little size, and I've colored 3 pages in this book. I've colored these 2 pages. These pages were really easy to make, so I've used Inktense pencils for the cats, watercolor for the background, and actually I have received the SimTap acrylic markers from RTX at that time, so I've tested them on these pages, and they are really good acrylic markers. The only thing with the SimTap acrylic markers is that it can make like a pool of product. I don't know how to say that, but you have to be careful using them. But I really like the results, and that's it for these pages. Then I've started my Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas coloring book with the title page. So Zero was made with my Chromaflow pencils and my Morandi gel pens. And for the background, it is an Inktense block. And I don't know what you think about the intense blocks, but I have some difficulties to use them, so tell me in the comments how you use your intense block, but it's a little bit difficult to use mine, so yeah, I will be very interested about your opinion. Yeah, and that's it for my little ghost, and it was my first page in this book. I hope I will have time for the Halloween season. I really hope I will have time to go back in this book again. Next, I've colored in my Tolkien's World coloring book, and I've colored a double spread with my oil pastels, my new oil pastels, the 72 set of Haya oil pastels from Paul Rubens. They sent me this beautiful set of oil pastels, and they are really good, so I really recommend you Paul Rubens if you want some oil pastels, if you want to test out, or if you want a really big set. The colors are really beautiful and you can use them very easily. They are very creamy and I really like the colors. And they have also a really good scent. I really like the scent of this set. So I've colored this double spread, and it represents the Engband Mountains in the Tolkien's world. So it's like really dark mountains. And I've started with the right side, so you can see I've made some more details. I was very detailed in this side, but then I had to finish the double spread and it was very difficult. So I'm not very good at drawing, because when you use oil pastels you cannot see the line anymore. So it is really fun actually using oil pastels, but you have to have some skills in drawing. So I made my best and that's it. And for the border it is some black gesso. I've used a fixative and a varnish on this page and it's okay. It's not really oily at all. It's very dried. Yeah, and I've also colored another page in this one, again with my oil pastels. I've colored this page, and I've also used my 72 Haya oil pastels on this page. And actually for using my oil pastel I've used two different techniques. So the first one, I blend my oil pastel and that's it with my fingers. And for the second technique I was using my oil pastels but straight on the page. So at the end it was very oily, but if you use some fixative and some varnish above it, it's okay, it's very dry. I did this page with those two techniques and it was very easy to make the water like this, and I really liked to make the sky also. And that's it for this book. Then I've colored in my Tales from the Forest Kingdom coloring book, and I've colored this page. So I've colored this fairy vial with my Holbein pencils for the vial, and for all of the background and also for the leaves I've used my watercolors. So I have some Supervision watercolors. I'm sorry, but I really don't like this watercolor. It is very expensive and you have to put a lot of water to see the effect. I've also used some AliExpress watercolors. So this watercolor is pearlescent and it has like a duochrome effect. I really like the leaves like this. And for the details I've used my gel pens here for the fairy dust, my hybrid gel pens from Pentel, and some glitters. I was very happy to go back in my Hannah Carlson book. And for the last page of July, I made a page in my Cute and Creepy coloring book. So I have colored a ghost page in this book. I've colored this one with my gelatus for the background. I've also used some crayons by Søstrene Green. I don't know if you know this shop, but it's in Europe. Maybe it comes from Sweden. And the black color is my Søstrene Green crayon, and it's like a gouache stick. And I really like the gouache stick because it dries and it's very smooth. It's not sticky at all, but you know, I always use some fixative then. Even above my gelatos, I always use some fixative, and the result is really, it's perfect. It's not oily at all, it's very dry. And for the ghost, I've used my new colors too, and I've added some white oil pastel, and that's it for this page. Maybe I will come back again in this book for the Halloween season. And finally, I'm gonna show you my pages for the month of August. So first of all, I have made a color page in my summertime block by Hatchet Heroes, and I've colored this Daisy and Minnie page. I've used my Brutfuner pencils for the characters and for the items here. For the background, for the sky and the sand, I've used my new colors too. And for the water and for the towel, I've used my new colors of Inktense pencils, and I really like them. And for the details, I've used my gel pens, my Morandi pens and my RTX pens. And I really wanted to make like a summer page, a very colorful summer page like this, and I'm so happy. I've put some red here on Daisy and also on Minnie, and I've also added some green pen here on Minnie, and I'm trying to make some color effect on these pages, like, because I learn a lot when I do a Kincaid page. So yeah, it's very, very difficult when you make a color page by Kincaid, but sometimes when I do Disney pages like this, I'm trying to add some colors and to make some effect. That's it for this book, and I hope I will come back soon in my Disney books. And then I've colored a freebie page of Morgan O'Brien. So it was the very first time I've ever colored a Morgan O'Brien page, and these past weeks I have discovered a lot of new illustrators because I cannot buy every book that exists, and I'm so happy because I've made a lot of freebie pages, so you will see that in the next video. So for this page, I've put a first layer of alcohol markers from Coloria, and I really like these alcohol markers. Then I've put some shadows with my ChromaFlow pencils. I've used my Morandi pens to hide the line art. I've also used some gel pens for some details, and for the background here I've used a stencil with ink pads, and it's an ink pad from our action shop, and I've used two different colors. There is a blue and there is like more a green blue, and it was very, very easy to make this page and very fun. And in the background I've put a scrapbook paper, and that's it. Then I've colored in my Bestiaire book. It's one of my very first coloring book ever, and I've colored this page only with watercolors. His name is Crush, I think. So for the background, it's my AliExpress watercolor, and for the character there is some Winsor & Newton watercolors, some Old Holland watercolor, and that's it. And it was very, very chill to make this page, very easy, and I really like this kind of book, and I'm so sad they have discontinued this series of book. Then another Disney page in my vintage coloring book, and I've colored Pluto. I'm sorry, I don't know his name in English. So Pluto, the crab and the fish, they were made with my ChromaFlow and Polychromos pencils. For the sky, I've used my new colors too. For the water here, it's my watercolor and also new colors too. And here it is some acrylic paint only. And I've used a new gel pen that comes from our action shop, and it's really, really good. I was very, very happy to discover this new gel pen. That's it for this page. So yeah, it's very windy today. I don't know if you hear the wind. Then I've colored in my Alice in Wonderland coloring book by Julia Spiri, and I've colored this page. So for everything here, I've used my Goldfaber Aqua colored pencils. So these are actually watercolored pencils. These pencils are less pigmented than the Albrecht Dürer, but I still like these pencils, so I use them. And for the wood effect here in the background, it is watercolor. For the ground here, I've used a new color too, and also my Inktense block, and I've used a white gel pen again from Action, and that's it for this page, and I'm very happy I've made this one. So it was the first page again in this book, and finally I've made a little character in my Anne of Green Gable, and I've colored this second one here. I've colored this one with my Polychromos. So the first time it was Lightfast and Artists from Derwent, and this one is with my Polychromos, and I think I will test all of my colored pencils and I will see the result for every pencil. For this one I've used like more reddish colors. I was very happy of the result, and here are the reference page. So yeah, and this book you have the flip through on my other channel, on my French channel, if you want to see what's inside. These are Korean books. I have another one from The Little Princess, and these books are very good quality books. And that's it for my video. I hope you liked it, and I hope you enjoyed your summer, and I will see you soon for the next video. Bye bye!